Welcome back to Trail and Ultra Running Training. My name is Will Franz. I'm a strength coach, running coach, whatever, and the whole goal of this podcast is to help you run a little better and have more fun on the trails. And if you like it, if you could hit subscribe or leave a rating or review or just share it with somebody, I would really appreciate it. I just want to spread more free, decent quality running information to more people. So let's talk today about a big problem I see when it comes to training. And it's not everybody, and it's not even everybody at all times or one person at all times. We probably all do this a little bit, but we let our pride or our ego or whatever you want to call it get in the way of our training. And we act like we need to hit a particular number, be it a pace or a weight on the bar, or whatever is in your brain on that particular day that tells you that if I don't do this thing, I'm not enough or whatever, then we let that get in the way of actually making progress. And I can think of so many instances in which this is really relevant. There are working in a gym, we're going to use that example to start. And there's always someone in there trying to bench press more than they have any business touching, much less trying to push up for 10. And it is very often some guy in his like 40s and 50s because, back in the 80s and 90s, bench press was the lift. The question in regards to strength was how much do you bench? So someone did a lot on bench in their 20s, and then they take like 20 years off from lifting, and then they come back and they really think that they should be able to do something resembling what they did 20 years ago. And no, for every possible reason, no. And the thing that's frustrating to see, I guess, is someone really wants to make progress, but they're letting their ego get in the way because they can't take a step back and just do the work that they should be doing or that they need to be doing. They're forcing out extra work with a higher weight because they are uncomfortable with the fact that they probably have to bench 95 or whatever. Because if we're looking at a bench press, people always want to get to like a plate or two plates or whatever this magic goal in their head is. And if we haven't done something in 20 years, we need to come back, take a step back, and start more or less like we're treating it from scratch. And so you see someone underneath a bar on a bench press, and they are aiming for 10 because they're always aiming for 10. And they put up a set of 10 and it's a struggle. Then they put up a set of like 9, but it was really 7 because the last two were really bad. And then they almost fail at like 5 on the third one. And they could have just used less weight and actually get the stimulus of 10, not end up with this like ridiculous fatigue that they're going to have because they took 3 sets to like a struggling failure because they were so obsessed about having however much weight on the bar, right? And we see this with running too. You see it with paces or time or whatever. You have someone who goes out on a run and they they just can't run a 12-minute mile and no matter what. And it's just like that's where we need to be today. And if you can't figure out how to run that pace, then we need to do a run walk. But your heart rate's at 175 and you're murdering your training because you are not willing to just take a step back and let your body regulate itself and actually get the adaptation from an easy run. Because we really need to spend a ton of time in these low effort, like zone 2 work, if we want to build aerobic function. Yes, you can build from high intensity, but you will get so much more efficiently. You'll do it so much more efficiently if you just slow down. And if we just run and run walk at the pace that we need to be doing it in order to hit the target that we're looking for, be it an easy run or whatever, then we will adapt faster. And the real irony for all of these things is if we are willing to like just chuck the ego out the door in the beginning, then we will actually end up where we think we should be or want to be, or at least closer to it, much faster than if we keep like fighting our way through. Because if you keep running easy runs at a like 175 heart rate, unless your max heart rate's 230, then fine. But if you keep running easy runs at 175 heart rate, we're actually slowing down our aerobic progression. We're slowing down the adaptation we're actually looking to achieve with that run. And as a result, just because you want to run a 10-minute mile on your whatever day, then it's going to take you longer for that 10-minute mile to be easy because we don't back off and just accept where we are. You are where you are in your training. And as much as we might want to fight that sometimes in whatever respect, we need to just accept it. And it doesn't mean every run needs to be perfect. It doesn't mean you can't just go out and like run carefree in this like zone 3 mess that so many people spend so much time in. It doesn't mean that we can't have an ego lifting day and just play around, be safe. Bench press will crush you, right? Like the amount of dumb things I see on the internet from someone not understanding how to use safeties or have spotters excessive. But be be careful, be safe. But otherwise, occasionally the day it is perfectly reasonable to just go out and screw around for a day. Have have like an ignore the watch run where you just turn the thing on so you can track it and put it in your pack and just run and see how things are, or keep it on the time face or whatever you want to do that allows you to just like step back from data for a minute. But a lot of the time, most of the time, if we're really looking to make some big progress towards whatever particular goal, then we're going to need to be a little more diligent, a little more consistent with taking some time away from our ego, stepping back, making sure the work is quality, making sure the work is the work that it's supposed to be. And I think it is this rough balance because some people really need to hear the hey, you need to work harder, right? Like that is a real thing for certain people where they wonder why they don't get faster or they wonder why they've been stuck at the same squat weight for however long. And it's really because they're stuck in this space of like comfort. This mileage or this pace is really comfortable. It's really reasonable. Been doing it for a long time. You know what this feels like. And as a result, you just fall in the groove. And in that instance, we actually do need to do speed work. You do need to push yourself. We need to pick like 1 or 2 times a week where you go out and like actually feel a little toasted at the end of a run. Not destroyed, but tired. And then there's the opposite where every run is this battle to hit some magic number that's in your head because below 10-minute miles is running and above it is jogging or whatever stupid stuff we see on social media. And I don't know, man. I just think that usually the person that is attracted to either of those messages is the person that needs to hear the other one. So usually the person that gets really into the go harder, work whatever, sleep 4 hours a night, drop in cold plunges, grind cycle things, is the exact person that needs to ditch their ego for a minute and run a 12-minute mile, and vice versa. the person who loves to fall in their groove, never pushes it on speed work, has been using the same weight in the gym for the past 3 years, and just like has this comfortable place of exercising, probably needs to go harder occasionally. And that's if we want progress, right? Like if you're happy where you are, then keep doing what you're doing because what you did brought you to the place you are, and it's probably going to keep you in a pretty consistent space. Now, if you've been doing something for 2 weeks, obviously you just need to wait a little longer. But for the most part, the thing that brought you here will kind of keep you here. And if we want to change something when it comes to our training or our performance or whatever, we need to add some new stimulus and we need to figure out exactly what that is. And for a significant portion of the population, it is checking your ego at the door and actually appreciating where you are on any given day and training in a way that actually supports the adaptation you're looking to create, be that running a slow zone two or like not killing yourself on every interval so that the workout as a whole actually works, or pulling some weight off the bar or whatever it may be. That is where we are on any given day, and just trying to make sure that we appreciate that and do what we need to do to get the training stimulus we desire so we can get the adaptation we're looking for. Anyway, it's kind of rambly. It's been kind of a weird week. I hope you have a great rest of your day and go have fun on the trails.